I wanted to make this video to share the very unexpected journey that led me to buying a Riese Muller SuperDelite from the wonderful folks at the New Wheel in San Francisco, California recently. Before I start, I just want to share my appreciation for True, Rowan, and the gang out there for helping me not only with purchasing this wonderful bike, but with the various asks and modifications I requested. If you have some time and you're looking for a bike out in the Bay Area, I definitely recommend to check out thenewwheel.net. So recently I've been very into Riese Muller as a brand. I currently take my daughter to school in a R&M Paxter 70, which we absolutely love as a family. And I'm looking at maybe a carry for my wife. So naturally, when I was thinking about buying a bike that I can use for some long touring rides, maybe in the morning as part of my workout routine, I also thought about sticking with Riese Muller. We've been delighted overall with their ride quality, ethos, and just overall coolness. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we get stopped when we have the Paxter. All the questions we get, it's just really kind of a fun experience. I hadn't really been searching too hard, but came across a demo bike sale at the New Wheel that happened to have a SuperDelite in stock that was a couple of years old, but happened to be my size. I'm 6'4", so definitely needed the 56 centimeter, which is the largest of the SuperDelite models. And it's a size that isn't often in stock. So I really, couldn't have asked for a better opportunity here. So I went over and did a test drive of a similar model since mine wasn't built up quite yet and was really pretty easily convinced. Coupled with a great sales price, it was an opportunity too good to be true, so I moved forward. Fast forward to only a week later, July 12th, 2024, and despite not feeling all that great, I was a little under the weather, I was ready to go pick up my new bike in San Francisco. Unfortunately, I live all the way down in South Bay, which is about 40-ish miles south. So then I had the brilliant idea to Uber up, pick up my bike, and ride it down the San Francisco Bay Trail. And so today, this is a little snippet of the approximately 5 hours it took from leaving my house in the morning to coming back home, this time with a awesome, superb, capable bike in hand. We are off. It is 11:15. Ooh, it's nice and chilly out. Okay, so first of all, let me start off by making the corniest of puns, but this SuperDelite was a super delight to ride. It exceeded my already high expectations investing this type of money into an e-bike, and I'll explain more about that in a second. But before I do, I'll explain a little bit more about me actually. So I'm 6'4", about 300 pounds, and moderately active. I've always done sports and multi-sports throughout my life, despite my size and my largeness. But I haven't done serious cycling in about a decade or so. So for context, riding 50 miles is not just a weekend jaunt for me. It is quite a daunting task. It was a serious mission that I actually strongly considered doing or redoing, especially because it was in the middle of a California heat wave. And I literally was picking up and riding this exact bike for the first time ever. So maybe not the best combination, but I'm glad I ended up moving forward. And the reason I ended up moving forward is because I said, look, if things all go to you know what, then I can just grab an Uber and get picked up. So, okay, so now on to the actual bike review. I'm actually going to start off with things I didn't necessarily love or things that maybe surprised me. And we're going to actually begin with the Rohloff shifting system. So this bike comes equipped with the Rohloff E14 drive, as you can see here. And it also has a Gates carbon belt, which gets absolutely rave reviews from everyone on YouTube. But let me give you a slightly different and perhaps maybe controversial take. Maybe it's not controversial, it's just something that for people to be aware of, since I didn't see enough of it being covered online. Before I get into this specific topic, let me just say that I have plenty of experience on high performance e-bikes, namely Stromers. I've had Shimano Di2 shifters on my ST5, and most recently on my Stromer ST7, which is my commuter bike, I have a Pinion Smart shift gearbox and shifters. So again, not really unfamiliar with these type of things. So the Rohloff, as everyone says, it's definitely a very efficient, bomb-proof unit that requires minimal maintenance. That part is absolutely true. What is also true is that once you get the hang of it, shifting is easy and quick. It's the first part of that sentence that I'll elaborate on, because you see it takes some time to get used to it. So let's just kind of talk about this for a second. So the first thing is, I'm not a huge fan of this shifting mechanism. Oh, I think it's shut off here. I'm not a huge fan of the shifting mechanism to start off with. So although it works, you do need to give it a little bit of actuation, more than you would like on a paddle shifter or anything else. And so, you know, make sure that you really kind of give it some oomph so that it can transition. So I'll kind of also show you what it sounds like. So it's very quiet, and so once you get the hang of it and you give it enough pressure, it definitely becomes a lot more efficient and really great actually. If you do plan on using this bike in very hilly areas, the one thing I would really recommend is that you predict your downshifting. Nice thing about this Rohloff is if you press the button down, you'll see it actually goes up quite a few. And it does it really fast, so let me show you real quick. And so again, it's really best to kind of predict what shift or what gear you want to be in before you go up a hill, and do it well in advance, because I did get caught in my test drive trying to figure that out mid-flight, mid-hill, and I did actually have to bail out. The second thing to know is that timing is really important. Even when you shift correctly and intentionally, remember that Rohloff won't shift under load. In fact, it actually pauses the motor and it applies the change. So again, after getting used to it, you kind of start getting, you start trying to figure out when to actually perform the shift. And it does take some getting used to, but you kind of figure out that maybe on the upstroke, right before the top of the pedal stroke is when you do it, and it ends up actually being a little bit pretty imperceptible in terms of, you know, that kind of battery or that power cutting out momentarily. So, you know, in conclusion, what I would say about Rohloff is once I actually started getting the swing of it, It is a very, very good system. I mean, it shifts really fast. Once you start figuring out how to time it, it's really quick. It feels very smooth. You don't get a lot of stuck gears. And the other thing that I really like about this system, to be honest, is I didn't really need to use the full spectrum of available gears. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. So overall, Rohloff, really, really great. Okay, so now that I got that weird thing out of the way, let's talk about the other things that I absolutely really just love about this bike. I'm actually going to start here at the top with the Nyan cockpit. And so there's various options that you can put on the SuperDelite in terms of cockpit. And this color screen by Bosch, this Nyan cockpit, is just really phenomenal. I don't really use it outside of just the strip distance, time, speed. There's a map and navigation here, but I actually end up using this little phone holder to look at a bit of a better map, because this map is not the best, I will say, but overall this is an awesome display. It just shows you, little things like your battery power left, your lights, your speed, which gear you're in. It's really just overall really, really exceptional, so I really like that quite a bit. The bike is also equipped with ergon grips that they're really, really comfortable. I have very big hands, and so I find these to be really, really comfortable. I did upgrade the end of these grips to add on the GP4 upright handles, and actually made a pretty good difference. I was able to ride in that position every so often. So again, if you're somebody who's more used to road biking or anything like that, it is very helpful. The bike also comes with one mirror on the left, but I actually added another one on the right. And it fits pretty well, it works pretty good. And again, it's something that really, really makes this a much safer experience. The best thing about this bike is really the suspension. I mean, there's nothing like riding on this plush suspension. On this one, this is the upgraded Fox float suspension here. And it also has more travel on the front suspension rack here. So again, it's another Fox upgrade. And it also has this rack which comes with it in the back that is just ideally made for this type of setup. And I mean, this thing is just, it rides so incredibly well. And I'm a big man, and it really lets me kind of eat potholes, eat hills, super easy. It's just, honestly, it's the best thing. It's better than I could even have imagined. So suspension gets an A++ from me. Okay, talking about things that I never thought I needed and that are absolutely unbelievable. Dropper post. So this bike comes with a dropper post, and what you do is you basically press this button here, and the post goes up or down to meet you. And again, most people think dropper posts are for mountain bikers, but let me tell you, as somebody who did a lot of stop and go traffic on this bike already, it is exceptional for stopping at a light, coming down on your post, and getting right back on it. I've never had a dropper post, actually. I mean, I had one on a mountain bike a long time ago, but this thing is really, really just incredible, and I highly recommend it. As I mentioned, the bike comes with a Gates carbon belt, which really makes this a very quiet ride, a very smooth ride. I don't feel a lot of efficiency loss on the pedal strokes with this bike, which has been really, really fascinating and really great. As compared to maybe my Paxter, where I can definitely feel some efficiency losses on pedaling. I know that one also has a Gates carbon belt, but I think the combination of Gates and Rohloff here really just make this an incredibly efficient ride. One thing I'll talk about indirectly is the batteries. So this has two batteries. It's a dual battery system. There's a 600 plus 1 hour battery on the top, and then a 500 in the down tube, or vice versa. I don't exactly remember which one's which. But a couple of comments I'll make about this that really makes this in many ways better than my Stromer, which I use for commute. The first thing is I never felt like I needed to be outside of like the first couple of pedal assist modes, so Eco and Tour, I think it is. I really never needed to get out of there. In 50 plus miles, I mean, I maybe bumped it up to Turbo or Sport a couple times just to get past like really busy intersections, but otherwise I could comfortably cruise at 23, 24, 25 miles an hour just being on even Eco mode. And what that means is that by the time I got home after, again, a 50+ mile bike ride, I still had something like 50% of my battery. And I don't get that on my Stromer. My Stromer has almost a 1.5 kilowatt hour battery. And when I commute, first of all, when I commute, I need to use the 2 or 3, which is the higher level assists, or the pedal assists, because it's a different ride. I mean, it's a phenomenal ride. Don't get me wrong. That's why there's a reason I use the Stromer as a commuter. But when I use 2 or 3, I basically get anywhere from 60 to 70 miles per week, or per single charge. Here, I'm gonna guess that I can probably take this to about 90 to 110 if I needed to, just based on that setting. So that's something I wanted to call out as like a really big benefit that I observed when I was riding this bike. Maybe a couple other minor observations. So comes with the horn, pretty loud, really works really great. I will say that the brakes that come standard on these, I think that they're Magura brakes. I don't love them. I actually feel like the stopping power is pretty limited. I think the first thing I'll look at upgrading, if I do end up upgrading anything, is the brakes. I think the brake sensitivity is fine. Overall, it brakes okay. But especially on downhills, I gotta tell you, it gets kind of scary. And so I wish this had ABS, but that's one thing I really love about my Stromer. It has ABS brakes, which is just phenomenal. But that's one thing to watch out for. I don't necessarily think these brakes are the best equipped for this ride. The light that comes with this bike is an M99 Mini, so super bright, super bright, I mean incredibly bright. And on the back, you also have Supernova light ups. So fenders are really of great quality. As you can see here, aluminum, very strong, very sturdy, no issues with those. Same thing on the front, pretty well placed. It also comes with a super nice rack. This is a nice front rack, and the thing I love about this front rack is it doesn't move when you turn. It stays stuck to the main body of the bike. It comes with a custom bag that I'll probably do a separate review on later. That's really exceptionally made. I know that bag just came out, and before it was really hard to figure out what to put on here, but that bag works really well, and it fits really well, and it's basically all you need, honestly. It's a really great setup. The bike also comes with a ABIS lock right here situated, so it's actually a really nice add-on. I actually ended up adding an AirTag placement here so I can track the bike if it ever gets stolen. But these are little things that really kind of add up to make it a really great experience. Some nice pedals. These are some custom grip pedals from, I think, VP. So nothing spectacular, I'd say. The Schwalbe tires are great. One thing about these Schwalbe tires, the thing about them that I'll say that I really like is often with these really knobby tires, you know, you kind of feel there's a very different ride, a little bit more harsh. You feel like you're really losing efficiency as you pedal. I will say I didn't feel that with these. These are really great wheels and really well suited for this bike. The kickstand is really great, very sturdy, very easy to take up and down. And again, I feel really confident. Sometimes on even these expensive e-bikes, you get really crappy stands and kickstands, and so I was really happy with what I got on this one. So I do want to come back to the Bosch motor. I mean, so this motor, it's a Gen 4 Bosch Speed, so performance line speed, and I gotta tell you, I was so impressed. I mean, again, I'm used to riding high-end pedelecs like Stromers. I know that the Stromers have hub motors, and you know, they have their own Sino motor, which are extremely powerful and custom for Stromer. But I have to tell you, this bike's motor, it really kind of made pedaling easy. Like I mentioned in an earlier part of the video, I also felt super comfortable in eco. In fact, not only that, I actually forgot to mention this. I went bike riding with somebody nearby where we did a little bit of incline. It wasn't, you know, hills. And I actually just took off all the assists on the bike, and I was able to take this bike, you know, 17, 20 miles an hour, no problem, with no assist. I can't do that with my Stromer. I cannot do that with my Stromer at all. My Stromer is a brick. If the thing stops working, I ain't going past maybe 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour tops. And that's with significant effort. So honestly, this is a perfectly balanced motor for this bike, and I was very, very pleased by it. Okay, something else I forgot to mention. These fabric water bottle holders that sit on the rack are awesome. They're perfect. So you have one bottle there, and you have another bottle right here, and they're really secure. They're perfect add-ons without taking up space on the frame, and they're just really great. And there you have it, a very crude but hopefully useful review and test drive of the Riese and Muller SuperDelite, which is indeed a super bike. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe, as I'll be doing more deep dives across our other R&M bikes, including our Paxter. I'll also be reviewing my daily commuter, which is a Stromer ST7, and there will be upcoming reviews and videos where we document our cargo bike life with the family. Thanks for watching.